I'm Jeff Weekly, editor of Florida Sportsman Magazine. The recovery of Florida's largest grouper is a major success story in the making, a testament to fish and wildlife conservation. Before 1983, there were no regulations on Goliath Grouper, at the time called Jewfish. And while the big ones are notorious tackle busters, far too many fell victim to capture. At the time, different user groups pointed fingers. Commercial fishing, hook and line fishing, spear fishing all took their toll, as did in the long run habitat loss. By 1990, state and federal fisheries managers closed all harvest of Goliath Grouper. Well, within about 10 or 15 years, Florida anglers began to see a rebound. And today, it's very common to see large Goliath groupers, upwards of 400 pounds, lurking around our offshore wrecks and reefs. Sometimes they'll take snapper, permit, and other fish off the line that we're trying to catch. In 2022, following 5 years of study and public input, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission approved a limited harvest for the Goliaths. It's a random draw lottery system. You apply for a permit in the fall, and if your name is chosen, you get a chance to catch a keeper Goliath during the March through May season. The permit costs $150 for Florida residents, $500 for non-residents. There's a slot limit of 24 to 36 inches. Only hook and line gear may be used. Some parts of Florida are excluded from the Goliath season. From Martin County south to the Atlantic coast along the Florida Keys, the Goliath harvest remains closed. Same for Dry Tortugas National Park. Federal waters more than 3 miles off Florida's Atlantic coast, 9 miles in the Gulf, also remain closed during the Goliath season. Florida Sportsman staffer Trey Wheeler, a good friend of mine who lives in Martin County, was one of the lucky ones to pull a Goliath tag during the 2025 season. In this first episode of a special 3-part video series brought to you by PENN Fishing, we're going to watch as Trey gets out on the water to catch his keeper Goliath, and we're going to learn a little bit more about this fishery.
Hey Giles, I have a Goliath Grouper harvest tag. I can kill one between 24 and 36 inches based on this tag north of the Martin County line in the St. Lucie County. I want to catch one on spinning gear. Can you guide me to the right tackle to get that accomplished?
Of course, Trey. Thanks so much for coming down. It's great to see you. The basic spin gear you need for those is incredibly simple. It's basically heavy and ready. So this guy here is the PENN Carnage rod. It's a spin rod about 6 feet long, and it's rated 50 to 100 pound braid. So this thing has super strength to its flex. And now for the reel that goes with that, I like the PENN Authority 8500 that has 50 pounds of drag, and we spooled that up with 65 pound braid. That's about as heavy as you need for the size Goliaths you're gonna be targeting, mostly inshore. And now for the rig we use on these, also, again, very simple. This is just a knocker rig. This is 250 pound mono, which has incredible abrasion resistance. You're gonna need that because you're fishing for these Goliaths around structure like rocks and bridge pilings and abutments and whatnot, and they love to wrap you in those. And the hooks on these are 9/0. You can use 9, 10, 11/0 with about a 6-ounce egg sinker, knocker rig, just crimped on there, right there. And all we do is take for bait, we use about an 8 to 12 inch jack or bill. Take these hooks, run that hook right through his mouth, out the top of his nose, just nice and gently. And then just drop them down. You don't have to cast it, just drop it straight on down wherever you are under that bridge and do some drifting around in there and see what happens.
What's been the opinion of the Treasure Coast from yourself and just your customers that come in here on Goliath Grouper in this area?
Yeah, so around here, it's kind of become a little bit of a nuisance for offshore fishermen because these giant 200-pound Goliaths just love to rob your bait. They're kind of like sharks at that nature. It's really just become where you hook smaller fish and you just have to reel them in as fast as humanly possible to avoid getting robbed by these Goliath groupers who then take your whole rig and whatnot, which can't be good for them either. But this harvesting tag is really kind of giving us a better feel to maybe controlling the fish a little better and just being able to enjoy catching them a little more than what we're used to. So that's a great change to the sport and the industry. Well, good luck out there.
Appreciate it.
Geared up with the PENN Authority 8500 and some great ideas for rigging and baits, Trey put together a game plan. To see what develops, check out the second installment in a Goliath Challenge, a 3-part special video series brought to you by PENN Fishing.